Welcome to the latest Motley Fool Scoreboard. I'm on in Chalk and Balloon. We've got longtime fools Travis Hoyam and Tyler Crow giving a rating to a Moneyball rec and a top 10 stock in the Moneyball database. It's Comfort Systems, ticker symbol FIX. Rate the strength of Comfort Systems business first, including factors like industry and competition. 10 is invincible. A 1 is hopeless. Travis is at a 7. Tyler, you're at an 8.
Yeah, look, companies in like the maintenance and services businesses are, I think, kind of underappreciated in the market. They're low growth businesses. I get that, but they tend to be very high returns, high returns on capital. They're actually, the spending for it is like next to nothing. It's like, I don't know, go fix up your office every once in a while. Mechanical, electrical, plumbing, contracting has some exposure to new construction. I think it's like 25% of their business right now. But if, we're all AI data center pilled right now, and that's a good place to be if for this new construction of mechanical and electrical, at least for this company for the next several years.
Yeah, the story here, and when Tyler wants to talk about AI, he wants to talk about a company like Comfort Systems. So we're taking the HVAC angle, but really solid business. Like you said, lower risk than maybe some other players that are benefiting from artificial intelligence. But the thing that I'll mention is operating margins have doubled since the ChatGPT moment. That's something I'm sure we'll talk about when we get to financials and the risk profile here. But just something to keep in mind is this has been a huge beneficiary of the AI investment boom. How long does that continue? We'll have to see.
Travis, I'm all about artisanal alpha.
I'm more of a wholesale meats and fishes kind of guy, but for management, a 10 is Warren Buffett, a 1 is Homer Simpson. Travis is at a 6. Tyler, this is your wheelhouse. You're at a 7.
Yeah, 7, long tenured management team. They've been there for almost, the current CEO has been there for 20 years, came over from Halliburton, not like the most spectacular track record, we'll say, but they've been there for a long time. They have a pay package, not just the CEO, but the entire management team that is relatively well aligned with investor outcomes. So good thing there. I think the greatest accomplishment that you can give to management is this company has been an acquisition, like a roll-up strategy of a very fragmented industry. And they have done so, and it hasn't resulted in deteriorating rates of return. So they're actually spending that money quite well.
Yeah, I'll defer to Tyler a little bit here. I went a little bit lower. There's not too much to get excited about with an industrial management company like this, but obviously the recent increase in their margins, return on investment, I think is really solid. So, more than a 5, but just went with a 6 here.
For financials, a 10 is a fortress, a 1 is yikes. Travis is at a 7, and in a recurring theme, Tyler's higher with an 8.
Net cash position, good free cash flow conversion, kind of the little things you want to see. And even through the ups and downs of the cycle, that has been pretty consistent with this company over the past 15, 20 years. Revenue growth has accelerated in the past few years. And again, it's an AI kind of related thing, and the construction and build out data spend. And that's where we're getting the growth. Might not be there forever, but there is an existing fleet of stuff that needs to be maintained.
Yeah, and that's the reason that I went just a little bit lower here is things look phenomenal right now. But if you look back historically, the company's been profitable, but not the profit margins that we currently see today. So is that sort of smoke and mirrors over the past couple of years because of this AI build out boom? If you start to see companies maybe pull back because, the hyperscalers of the world, the CoreWeaves of the world aren't getting the return on investment that they were potentially hoping for, and then you could potentially see a decline in revenue, a decline in margins sometime in the future. That would be the big risk here. And that's just why I'm not going to get too overly excited about the recent increase in margins.
Travis, let's talk valuation then. How well will Comfort Systems stock do over the next 5 years? How safe is it? 10's a sure thing, 1's a lottery ticket.
For exactly the reasons that I've been pointing out here, I'm a little bit worried about this AI build out. These companies are able to basically charge whatever they want because the hyperscalers want to build as fast as possible. So you just, increase your prices a little bit. Maybe it's 10% here, 50% there. That's why I went with 0 to 5 from an expectation perspective and a safety score of 5. It worries me if we are in some sort of a build out boom. I've invested in companies like JDS Uniphase. There's a fiber company back in the dot-com boom. That didn't end particularly well. So I just don't want to get too over my skis from an expectation perspective. Not saying that a HVAC company, an industrial company this diversified is the next JDS Uniphase, but there are kind of warning signs out there.
Yeah. I think I went with my default setting for all of these, and that's a 10 to 15% return with a low safety score of 4. This company, as you know, for all of its good that you might have, there is a valuation concern, and it's one of those AI Rorschach tests for investors these days. You know, if you are a dyed-in-the-wool believer in data center spending continuing at current pace, returns could be higher. But you know, if everyone starts looking around at all this money spent on AI and don't see the expected returns, yeah, we could definitely see a decline. I mean, there's other things to build, but there's certainly not going to be the build rates that we're seeing because of AI. That's everywhere in this and in the construction world these days.
Thank you to Tyler and thank you to Travis. They've given Comfort Systems a mediocre overall score of 6.3 out of 10. Tyler being more bullish than Travis. Look out for a new scoreboard every market day at 7 p.m. Eastern. Next up is IBM. Till then, Fool on.